Hey, what's up? Have you ever wondered if you were a weirdo? I have, and it's kind of interesting, so let's talk about it. So, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I'm not a heavy drinker, social drinker at best, I don't have any tattoos, yada yada yada. And I feel like I've lived fairly by the book, and yet sometimes I wonder, am I normal? And the reason I think that is because there's so many different categories of people, and that do all sorts of different things that seems like it's now normalized in many ways. For example, vaping is pretty big at the moment. Recreational drugs, I know, is pretty big in America, and so on and so forth. And not that there's anything wrong with any type of person particularly. I mean, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, sometimes I wonder, am I the weirdo? Am I normal? What's interesting is I've never been to therapy before, but I do know people who have been to therapy. And therapy is an interesting one for me because I've dated someone who said that she wouldn't date anyone who hasn't been to therapy before. And I thought that was so interesting because in some ways I understood it and in some ways I didn't. The reasoning behind it for me is it's almost like having an iron deficiency and seeking a doctor, and the doctor gives medication for the iron deficiency, and all of a sudden this person is thinking everyone should have this medication for iron deficiency when not everyone has an iron deficiency. Now, if I think of it more like a multivitamin, and this person is thinking everyone should have this multivitamin, that makes a lot more sense to me. But my counter argument to that is people can get their vitamin dosage from various different places. So I don't know if a blanket statement on that everyone needs therapy is accurate. Funnily enough, I've had people that say I sound like or talk like a therapist before as well. So it's definitely an interesting one for me. I think projection and self-justification is I think we need to be more thoughtful around that as well. For example, I think self-justification is a net positive. So for example, if you've had something negative happen in your life and you've been able to spin it into something positive, that's a great thing. But to not say that negative thing was a negative, I think starts to warp reality. For example, to wish that negative thing on somebody else with the possibility that they might be able to spin it and turn it into a positive, I don't think that's right. Maybe it can work in some scenarios, but I think you have to call a spade, and a negative is a negative. If you've been fortunate enough to turn that into something great. But to wish negative things on other people, I think, is a whole different thing. Suffice to say, sometimes I wonder if I'm normal. Am I the weirdo now? Am I a weirdo? And I think we're all normal in our own way. Anyways, that's what's running through my mind at the moment. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.